Curtis Calhoun here with MMA News, and it's always great catching up with my next guest, Damon Jackson, who's getting ready to face Dan Ige on January 14th. How's it going, Damon?
It's going good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks again for the time, man. Really do appreciate it. Dan Ige is obviously a guy that's fought some of the top contenders in the featherweight division, well-rounded skill set. How motivating is that for you, especially in the gym, knowing you're about to face somebody with his experience and his well-rounded style?
Yeah, man. I just sitting there watching. I'll watch a lot of film on my opponents, and just going through all the fights that he's had recently, and like over the years and stuff. And he's fought some of the top, five, top three, top, champs. Like he's fought guys that have been in there, fighting for the title recently, not just like back in the day. It's like a recent, title fights and stuff. So it's cool to see the way that he survived through all the rounds and like did certain things and like won in certain rounds and like he's a tough dude for sure. He's definitely something I've been prepping for, and I've been really keyed in on game plan, and really trying to stick to it during my rounds and in camp and stuff like that. So it's exciting for sure.
And you finally get your fight, right? I know you've been calling out a few guys on social media and all that, and Dan Ige ended up being the guy. When you look at his style, obviously he's really well-rounded, like we just talked about. Do you feel like this is kind of the perfect challenge for you to kind of show how well-rounded you are and some of the different tools in your toolbox?
Yeah, I mean, any of those guys in top 15, like it would be a tough fight no matter where you go with them. I think that he's the guy that's kind of been tested by all these other, like the challengers and stuff like that. So, it's definitely a good gauge on where I'm at and like what I'm doing, if it's working or if it's not working. So, I'm, more than excited to get in there and mix it up with him. And, like we set this fight up, like me and him both did. So it's like, I messaged him and, him, Sadiq, Alex Caceres, Julian Rosa. I messaged all of them, and him and Julian hit me up, and Julian said he was matched up with Alex. So that fight didn't happen. And then Dan hit me up and said that, he definitely thinks I deserve a shot at the top 15. And we were trying to get it worked out for December, but it just worked out that, the first week of January. So, I'm excited, man. This is something I've been asking for, and it's my opportunity. It's my chance to, get in there with someone like him.
And it's been a heck of a year for you, man. I know we've talked a few times this year, but obviously, when you get this win against Dan Ige, this will be 4 wins, and I think about a little less than a year or so. I mean, just kind of talk to me how much this year has meant to you in your career and how much it means to you to be active too.
It's just cool, man, to get the opportunities to fight, because it's not like there's a lot of tough guys out there that don't get the opportunity to like step in, with the top 15, top 20 guys. So it's like for me to get the opportunities that I'm getting is just the coolest thing, and to be at this for as long as I've been doing it, and as long as I've been wanting to do this since the seventh grade is when I like made my mind up that this is what I wanted to do. So it was just really cool to like see that like I'm that much closer to the title, and I really am close, because if I fight Dan and I beat Dan, I get someone else's tough, and then I'm right there in the mix. So it's like like just opportunities and things, like the chances I'm getting and then things like that all the chances I'm taking and paying off. And it's just really cool to be a part of it, and you know to be with my small group of people that have been with me from the beginning, just to have them with me, it's really cool to see too.
You talked a little bit about that there, but you also signed a new UFC contract. Obviously, that's got to feel
Yeah.
good to get that recognition. Just kind of talk to me about that. Obviously, you've had a kind of a crazy journey in the fight game. How much does it mean to you to get that recognition?
Yeah, I started early into the UFC. When I got into the UFC, I was a year and a half into my pro career, so I wasn't really ready to fight anyone that was at that high of a level, like very well rounded. So, like just getting my second chance to come in and to like prove to everyone that I am, I deserve to be here, and that I'm not just a wrestler and like things like that. Like it's nice, man. It really is. It's like, everybody's like, oh, hard work always pays off, but like you work so hard for so many years, and nothing really happens, and it's so frustrating. So to get opportunities is something that is great, but then taking advantage of them and getting these wins from it is like the coolest thing in the world, because it's like all those just for all the years that I've had that have kind of bullshit. They sit there and say like, keep working hard, keep working hard. You're the hard worker, like whatever. And like people saying that all the time, and you're just kind of like, it doesn't work like that. Like people get these opportunities that don't deserve it. So like, why am I not getting it? So it's just nice to be the guy that is getting the opportunities and getting it, to go out there and have some success, and to really, just learn. I've learned so much, man. Like for this last like 6 camps that I've had, for fighting these, higher level fighters and like fighting these tough fights, like I've learned so much from it. And it's just really cool to see the evolution of MMA from when I started to where I'm at now, and to evolve with it, and to be this far into my career and still be evolving is really cool.
And obviously, a lot going on in your division right now. We have Volkanovski moving up to face Makhachev for the lightweight belt. We have an interim title bout coming up between Yair Rodriguez and Josh Emmett. How do you see Rodriguez and Emmett playing out?
Man, I think Rodriguez's striking is just like super, super like flashy. Like he could catch you. Like the fight that I think about is the Chan Sung Jung fight, where he throws that like weird backwards elbow, like as he level changes. Like he's got that super unorthodox style of striking to where he could like put someone away quick, and I think he has some good power. I think he's definitely technical, and he's got some really like flashy stuff. But I think that he's got to really watch out for Josh Emmett's wrestling. I think that Josh Emmett, he throws a lot of power shots, and he lands a lot, and he hurts a lot of people. But I think if he's smart, he'll take Yair down. And I'm not really sure how good he is off his back. And I think that it's definitely going to be a tough challenge for him. But I think that Josh Emmett pulls off either a really boring decision, or Yair lands a fucking crazy knock,
And I
and
know
it's going
you're
to
a
be
big.
like a big knockout. So
Oh no, go
yeah,
ahead.
huh? No, I just don't know how the fight's going to play out. Honestly, I think that if it goes later into the rounds, I think Josh Emmett wins a boring decision, and I think that if it's a finish, it'll be Yair.
I got you, man. And obviously, got to switch back to you for a second, man. Obviously, we have UFC San Antonio coming up in March. Obviously, I know you're not looking past Dan Ige, but do you kind of see yourself being on that card? Obviously, I know you're a big fan of those quick turnarounds. This would be,
Yeah,
I believe, the
I mean,
end of March.
oh
But
man,
what were you think about that?
I would like, I would love it, man. It would be so cool. Or if they would come to Dallas and I could fight at the American Airlines Center, it'd be the coolest freaking thing. So, I'm game for a quick turnaround always. Me and Dan were both trying to get this for December. We were both begging for December, and it just like the cards were already filled up, so it just didn't work out. But I think that that's very realistic, as long as I don't take some crazy injury, which it's you never know what to expect as far as like that goes. But I would love to get back in there, as soon as possible. But these guys in the top 15, it's like I've got to have a 10-week camp, and I've got to fight, at this elevation. I've got to fight at this location. Like I'm like, dude, like get over yourself. Like no one cares. So wherever they want me to fight, I'll fight, and I would love to have a quick turnaround for sure. Definitely would love that.
And I saw on your Instagram recently that your daughters are wrestling now and got their medals. What has that whole experience been like for you? Obviously, it's got to feel good for you. And do you get nervous watching your daughters compete, like even to an extent more than you do in terms of your fights and all that?
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I get way more. I get it's like I'm sitting there like, doing like my hands on my hips, and like I'm like watching the matches more than like, more than I should. I should be like sitting there, telling them every little thing. And so sometimes I get caught up in, and I'm just like looking at them. I'm like, man, that's my kid. Like she's out there, kicking ass, and like it's cool. It's cool to watch, man. Like my oldest started wrestling last year out of nowhere. She's just like, I want to do wrestling and basketball. And so the basketball coach had an issue with her doing both, because she was going to miss like 15 minutes of practice 2 days a week. So she just quit basketball. She made the A team, and she's like a great athlete. And then she quits basketball, and she wants to wrestle. And I'm like, listen, if you're going to wrestle, you're going to all in, because I'm like, you can't do the sport half-assed and like expect not to get hurt, because you're gonna get hurt at some point. So if you're not prepared, you're just asking for it. So but she just like it's so cool to watch them go through the same things that I went through, like the challenges of figuring out certain positions and listening to your coach in the way that you should, and like making sure you're prepared with your meal planning, your cardio, making sure that you're like working your techniques and stuff like that. So it's really cool to watch her and watch them evolve. And my 11-year-old and my 9-year-old, they just started wrestling this year, and they just look up to their big sister, man. She's such a big inspiration to a lot of kids in my family. But for my girls, like my younger girls love looking up to her. They go to each other's games all the time, and they're very supportive with athletics and stuff. And it just brings out the best of them for sure. It's so cool to watch.
No doubt about it, man. And last question for me is actually a question that I've been asking a lot of fighters lately. Obviously, the New Year's coming up, and I want to get your thoughts. Like, where do you kind of want to see yourself in terms of your life and your career 1 year from now? What are some of your goals for the next year?
I was just having this conversation with my wife. We were walking through the store and stuff. It's just like everybody says they want to be a champion. Everybody's like, oh, I want to be champ. And then how do you get there? It's not like a tournament format. It's not like there's like a perfect step 1, 2, 3 to get there. So to get a top 15 matchup, I think that's like step 1. And then step 2 would be fighting someone that beat him, that is like one of these top challengers. And then step 3 would be getting in that mix of hey, I'm in top 4, top 5. At any moment, if someone falls, I'm the guy that's going to step in. So it's just like realistically thinking that I could be the champion in the next 2 years is like the coolest thing in the world to me. And I'm not letting anyone step in and take that away from me. This is something I've been doing since I was 12, 13. I've been wanting to be the champ, and just now getting to realize what it takes to get there. All the years of all the BS and all the stuff I've done, and the way I've came up with amateurs to pro record and stuff like that. So it's cool to see things paying off, and for me to be like so close to a top shot, and just so close to being in that mix for sure. It's it's pretty awesome.
I love it, man. Well, hey, before I wrap things up here, I'll give you the final word to give out any shout outs to your sponsors, team, all that good stuff. I'll give you the final word, man.
Yeah, it's Fortis MMA always. I've been there forever since start, and then all my social media is Damon B Jackson, but I don't really post a whole lot on there. So if you guys want to hit me up, though, I do answer back to everyone, and I try to get back to everyone as quick as I can, and I answer everything, and talk to anyone that hits me up. So if you guys want to hit me up on there, you're more than welcome. But I appreciate the support, man.
Absolutely, man. Well, Damon, it's great chatting with you. Thanks again for the time. All the best with these final days of camp, and I'm sure we'll chat again soon, man. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.